I often get asked, hey John, how do I come up with content ideas that my audience will find both relevant and engaging? Like, I'm struggling to get any type of love on social media. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 steps that I personally use to help me come up with content ideas that I know my audience wants to watch. That way I'm not wasting time making videos that no one wants to hear anyways. And because I know your time is super valuable, there's going to be timestamps down below. So with that being said, let's get right into this video. I often say that there's an infographic epidemic going on in the real estate industry. A lot of realtors are posting the just sold, the just listed. Hey, are you ready to buy, sell, invest in real estate? Give me a call. Or they post their market stats and they'll slap it on a nice little cute Canva infographic. Or even worse, they'll hit you with one of the ready to spring into your new home this April? Give me a call. And they'll post these like holiday things. Like right now we're in Thanksgiving. Oh, ready to get your pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving? And all the realtors are just ripping off and duplicating the same exact content that doesn't work. Then a lot of these realtors, what they do is like they start listening to some of these social media gurus, they start listening to the influencers, and these guys will tell them like, hey, if you want to get more engaging content, create content that your audience is actually asking for. And in order to do that, you got to start doing some market research and understanding your target demographic. They'll tell you to get clear on like how old are they married, do they have kids, how much income are they making, where do they live, and all these other factors. Now, though doing market research is valuable, here's why this is the wrong way to go about it. You start wasting time looking at generic reports, right? Then you get all this data and you don't even know what any of the information means or what to even do with the information. And so a lot of these reports like the NAR, Home Buyer and Seller Profile, they're giving you nationwide statistics. And as you already know, real estate varies state to state, county to county, city to city. It can even vary neighborhood to neighborhood. Trying to compare nationwide statistic to your specific hyperlocal market is not an apples to apples comparison. Same thing with like nationwide buyer statistics, right? A first-time home buyer versus a second-time buyer versus investor buyer, or even like a vacation buyer. These are all buyers that kind of get grouped into the buying pool, but they're very different and they all have very different motives. So again, this isn't an apples to apples comparison. So if you're doing market research this way and you're getting all this nationwide broad statistics and then trying to apply it to your specific market, you could be missing a mark. So here's what I would do instead, right? Step number 1, get super clear on your target audience. Who is it that you're trying to attract? I often hear real estate agents when I ask them, like, who do you want to work with or who do you help? They give me the Miss America answer, that, oh, I help everyone, which sounds great. But from a marketing standpoint, if you speak to everyone, you reach no one. And so, yes, you might apply to more people, but the content isn't going to convert because it's so surface level because you're trying to speak to the whole world instead of speaking to their exact pain points. I heard in a podcast the other day, if you could articulate the person's pain point better than they can and use the language that they would use to describe it, then you instantly become the subject matter expert. You instantly become the authority. So getting crystal clear isn't going to hurt you or push people away. It's actually going to attract more people to you because your content will actually connect with them. Step number 2, we're going to do market research. But instead of looking at all these generic reports and graphs that you find online, we're going to pick up the phone and start calling people. So let's say you want to work with first-time home buyers. Go through your phone and figure out who in your phone is a first-time home buyer. Or if you don't have any first-time home buyers, do you have any current clients that you're working with that are first-time home buyers? Or any clients that you worked with in the past that were first-time home buyers? Figure out where the first-time home buyers are. You can find them at, down payment assistance programs, facilities, right? Figure out where they are and figure out a way to reach out to them. Now, whether you're doing this in person or virtually, as I say, pick up the phone. It's a little bit more convenient, but you could also take someone out to lunch and do the same exact thing. Step number 3 is to ask them these 5 questions. The first, what are your current struggles with fill in the blank? I'm going to keep running with this first-time home buyer example. What are some current struggles and frustrations you have with the home buying process? Question number 2, do you have any fears and worries about fill in the blank? Do you have any fears and worries about buying your first home or becoming a homeowner? Question number 3, what are you currently doing to fill in the blank? What are you currently doing to get ready to buy your first home? What are you currently doing to get your home buying process started? What are you currently doing to get your home search started? Question number 4, in an ideal world, what does it look like when you fill in the blank? In an ideal world, what does it look like when you finally close on your first home, finally become a homeowner, finally move into your brand new property? And question number 5, if I could wave a magic wand, what would it take to get you from where you currently are to where you want to be? And a bonus tip, question number 5, you can actually make it even better by saying, if I could wave a magic wand, what would it look like when you, and then repeat what they said in question number 3, and then to get you to, and then repeat what they said in question number 4. Step number 4 is, as you're talking to this person, You want to make sure you write down exactly what they're telling you. You want to write down their exact responses. Do not paraphrase. The reason you don't want to paraphrase is because you want to pay attention to the exact words that they're using. What is the verbiage that they're using? What word choices do they select? The reason being is when you start creating content, you're going to want to start using those words that they're using so they can see that you speak their language. And step number 5 is just to repeat step number 3, which is pick up the phone and call someone else that represents your target audience. So if you're working with first-time homebuyers, find another first-time homebuyers and then ask them the same set of questions that I just asked. Now, here's why this strategy works so much better. Information can get diluted the further away it gets from the source. So you're going directly to the horse's mouth to get the information that you're looking for to attract more people like that in your business. On top of that, you can build massive rapport through this strategy. So let's say I call up Joe Schmo who wants to buy his first home, and I go through these set of questions. And a few weeks later, I go back to him and say, hey, Joe, I just created this free PDF with my top 3 lenders in the area if you're looking to buy your first home. Do you want it? And Joe is going to be so excited because this is the exact problem he told me he was struggling with. He couldn't find a lender and he couldn't get a pre-approval. And so I gave him my list of my top 3. Super valuable. So one, that shows that I care. Like, we had a conversation a few weeks prior and I remembered, right? I remember our conversation. I remember what he was struggling with. 2, it showed that I have the solution to his exact problem. Is he struggling getting a pre-approval? I'm giving him my top lenders to help him with the pre-approval process. Problem now solved. 3, I get reciprocity because I gave him something of value. Now he's going to be more likely to give me something in return. Now this may just be him becoming my client. It may be him sending me a referral. It may be him just being eternally grateful. And the 4th thing I could do is turn this PDF into a lead magnet. And I could use this to build up my email list. If there's people that are out there looking to buy a home in my area and I have a guide with the top lenders in the area, then people are looking, I could just start giving this away. Now this does 2 things, right? It's going to help me build up my email list, right? You want to build up your email list because then you can continually contact people and stay top of mind, provide value, right? Build up your newsletter. 2, I've known a lot of realtors that got hacked, they got their social media accounts taken down. If you had an email list, that wouldn't be a problem because you would still have their contact information, right? And then 3, if you get any cold leads, having a lead magnet like this will help warm them up and make them more likely to want to work with you because you provided value up front instead of asking for their business without knowing them. Like, this is why this strategy is so powerful. Like, market research is super important, but reading reports isn't going to help you connect with the audience. Like, the further away you are from your audience, the less valuable the information is. You can go directly to the people you want to help, get on the phone with them, take them out to lunch. It's super inconvenient and it's hard to scale, right? You can't go out to lunch with everyone. You can't, make 1,000 phone calls a day, right, by yourself. It's hard to scale, and that's why most people won't do it. But if you go the extra mile, you're going to have so much more valuable information that you could use to come up with content ideas, to come up with lead magnets, to come up with seller seminars or buyer seminars or whatever it may be. You're going to have so much more data so you can make informed decisions as to what to do with your marketing instead of guessing like most realtors do. And since we're on the topic of how to create content that's more relevant and engaging to your target audience, click here to watch this video where I show you how to come up with a year's worth of content ideas in just 10 minutes using ChatGPT.